Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an attendee in listen-only mode.
Right. Now, all of you get my voice on screen now. Now check it. Please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen now. All right. Good morning, guys. And check it what we completed there in the last session. What we completed there in the last session. I think so. We are discussing about the differences between Java and others. In the differences between Java and others, overall, how many differences we completed there? Nearly 4 differences. I think so. We 3 differences we completed. Then 4th difference we are trying to understand. Now see what are the various differences we completed so far. First one is C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. This is first difference. Next one is, after that, already we understood some points about this. Next one is, preprocessor is required in C and C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. Then after that, next one, like what there after completion of this, C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, whereas Java is a platform independent programming language. Okay. Now this information is also we completed clearly. In the last class, just we understood this difference here. C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. What exactly the reasons internally? Let's up to this clearly, all of you know. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution on the same operating system, then that programming language is called as platform dependent programming languages. Examples are C and C++. I've given some explanation also. If we compile C program on Windows operating system, then a compiler will generate .exe file which contains directly executable code, and it has the same Windows operating system representations. Here, if you want to execute that Windows represented .exe file, then we have to use the same Windows operating system. The same Windows operating system there we have to provide for execution. Next one is, what is platform independent programming language? If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation is on one operating system and execution is on another operating system, then that programming language is called as platform independent programming language. Example is what? Java. How can you say Java is a platform independent programming language? Some points here are given that clearly. What are the points are given there? If we compile Java application, then compiler will generate dot class files. Compiler will generate what files there? No, dot class files. Then what is the nature of the dot class files here? Where dot class files contains which code there? Now tell me. Dot class files contains which code? Byte code. What is the nature of the byte code there? It is not directly executable code. Okay. It is not directly executable code that we understood. But what it is actually? It is an intermediate code. It is what there? An intermediate code. It is not directly executable code, and it is an intermediate code that we understood. Okay, fine. And it is not having any operating system representations. Any operating system representations are not available. No operating system is represented inside this dot class file. Okay, in this scenario, what I am telling there, if you want to run neutral byte code on any operating system, then that byte code must be converted to the local operating system representations. Observe carefully. if we want to run a neutral bytecode on any of the operating systems, then that bytecode must be converted to the local operating system representations. For this, Java has provided a set of converters. Java has provided a set of converters. How Java has provided the set of converters here, that we already understood there. Java has provided the required conversion from byte code to native code. Native code in the sense local operating system represented code, and to execute that native code, Java has provided the required conversion from bytecode to native code, and to execute that native code, Java has provided an internal tool in the form of what is this in the form of? Now tell me, guys. JVM. What is this JVM actually? Java Virtual Mission. JVM. Then some conclusion here I've given there. What are the conclusions there? Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. Am I right or not? Because of JVMs only. But JVM is what? JVM is what? Platform dependent or not? JVM is platform dependent. Here not only JVM, the complete Java software is a platform dependent. The Java software includes Java compiler and JVM, Java documentator, Java profiler. All Java tools are the part of the JDK. The total JDK and the total Java software is a platform dependent. That's it, guys. Now these are the points here we have to understand clearly. That's okay, good. So finally here we understood this particular point. Java is what there? A platform independent programming language. But JVM is platform dependent. Not only JVM, that entire Java software is a platform dependent. Then after that, I've asked some questions to you. What are the questions here we are asking there? What are the differences between .exe file and .class file? What are the differences between .exe file and .class file? Answers I'm telling to you. Now try to understand this clearly. .exe file is existed in C and C++, whereas .class files are existed in Java. .exe file contains directly executable code, whereas .class files contains bytecode. It is not directly executable code. It is an intermediate code. .exe file is a platform dependent file, whereas .class file is a platform independent file. .exe file is able to provide lesser security, whereas .class file is able to provide more security. So these are like what there, the basic differences here in between .exe file and .class file. Leave these points here. Then what is the fourth difference here we are trying to understand there in between the differences between Java and others? The fourth difference now, pointers are existed in C and C++, but pointers are not existed in Java. Okay, this is a difference. Now we have to understand clearly this particular point. Now I have a question. What about this question here? What is pointer variable? Before understanding whether pointers are existed or not existed in a C, C++, Java, before that, first of all, what is a pointer? What is the nature of the pointer? This point here we have to understand. Now let's see, observe this clearly. Int I is equal to 10. Here I is a variable or not? Int I is equal to 10 semicolon, I is a variable where 10 is a data or not? Directly this data we stored in I variable. So in general, what I'm telling there, in general, all variables are able to store data directly. In general, variables are able to store data directly. But pointer variables are different. How pointer variables are different here? I'm giving definition to try to understand it clearly. Pointer variable is a variable. It able to store address locations of the data structures. Tell me, what is a pointer variable? Pointer variable is a variable. It able to store address locations of the data structures. instead of data, instead of data, they're able to store address locations of the data structures, where data structures may be, where data structures may be a variable, a normal variable, or maybe an array, or maybe a structure. In the case of C programming language, structures are available. Maybe a structure, or maybe another pointer variable. Another pointer variable is also be like what? No, a data structure. That's it. Now this is a simple definition for pointer variable. Guys, now all of you now tell me what exactly the meaning of pointer variable. Pointer is a variable. Pointer variable is a variable. It able to store address locations of the data structures instead of data, where data structures may be a variable, an array, or a struct, or another pointer variable. This is the basic awareness on like what? No, pointer variables. Right, sir. Now, in general, pointer variables are recognized and initialized by compiler at the time of compilation. Now tell me, at what time pointer variables are recognized and initialized in general? No? In general, pointer variables are recognized and initialized by the compiler at the time of compilation. At the time of preparing, at the time of performing compilation, all pointer variables are recognized and initialized. Guys, all of you are following my points? No? No response. Just I have given what is a pointer variable. Right, I will show some representation. Through that you will understand clearly. Observe carefully. All of you observe carefully. Now here, I want to take pointer variable declaration here. Int a is equal to 50. Int a is equal to 50. Int a is equal to 50. 50 is the data, a is a variable. Okay, next one is int star p. Into star p. Then star p is what there? P is what there? Pointer variable. Into star p. Here p is what there? Pointer variable. P is equal to %a semicolon. P is equal to %a semicolon. P is equal to %a semicolon. That's okay. This is my pointer variable declaration and a pointer variable initialization. What is going to be happen when we compile this program? What it is going to be happen? Now try to observe this clearly. When we compile this program into a is equal to 50, when we compile this program, when compiler encounter this intersection, immediately compiler will assign 2 bytes of memory for integer in the case of C and C++. How much memory here? 2 bytes of memory will be assigned for integer, where the value is like what there? 50 value will be stored. And its address location is what there? It's a starting address location maybe 1010. Okay, this is going to be happen when we compile into a is equal to 50. Into a is equal to 50, then this is what exactly the point here. Yes, sir. Are you getting it or not? Next one, after that, after completion of this. Next point. When compiler encounter into star p, then immediately compiler will assign p variable with some memory. How much is the memory? No. How much memory is required to store address locations? No. That much of memory will be assigned for this pointer variable. Okay, pointer variable is also be recognized and memory is also be allocated. Now here, when a compiler encounter this statement, p is equal to %a, first %a will be calculated. What is this %a here? address of the A. What is the address of the A here? 1010. That value is assigned to P variable or not? So that address value will store in P variable or not? So we can understand this clearly here. 1010. That 1010 value will be stored inside the P variable. Now, literally we can represent P variable is referring address of A. P variable is referring address of A. Am I right or not? Your pointer variable is referring address of A. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? Your pointer variable is referring what their address of A. Okay. Now this is what exactly the way to declare pointer variable and to initialize pointer variable. Fine. Okay. It is completed. Now here, what is this next point here? After understanding the basics of this pointer variable, here my question is, pointer variables are existed in C and C++, but pointer variables are not existed in Java. Pointer variables are existed in C and C++, but pointer variables are not existed in Java. Why? Why pointer variables are available in C and C++, and why pointer variables are not available in Java? Nearly, I'm having 3 to 4 number of reasons now. Try to understand this 3 to 4 number of reasons clearly. Guys, observe carefully. Then what are the reasons here we have to follow there? Here my question is, this is one of the interview question for us, no? The question is, why pointer variables are not existed in Java? This is a question now. Here I will give some answers to you now. Try to understand these answers clearly. Answer number 1. Tell me guys, all of you now tell me, here if you observe this diagram here, totally, who has recognized and initialized these pointer variables now? Pointer variables are recognized and initialized by compiler or not? Pointer variables are recognized and initialized by compiler or not? So compiler is allocating memory for the pointer variables or not? Compiler is allocating memory for the pointer variables or not? When a compiler is allocating memory for the pointer variables now, pointers must require static memory allocation or not? If compiler is allocating memory in the sense, which type of memory allocation it is now? Is a static memory allocation or dynamic memory allocation? Static memory allocation. Compiler is providing memory allocation. It means that static memory allocation. Am I right or not? All right, sir. So by this, what I am telling there, pointer variables required static memory allocation or not? Pointer variables required static memory allocation. So, but Java is following what? Java is following what? Dynamic memory allocation. Pointer variables required static memory allocation, but Java is following what? Dynamic memory allocation. So by this we can understand pointers are not suitable in the case of Java, but pointers are suitable in the case of C and C++. Why? Because C and C++ are following static memory allocation only. C and C++ are following static memory allocation only. So here the point is pointer variables required static memory allocation. Static memory allocation. But Java is following dynamic memory allocation. But Java is following what? Dynamic memory allocation. This is point number 1. From this point, I can give one more reason. What is that another reason here? Pointer variables are supported by static programming languages like C and C++. But pointer variables are not supported by dynamic programming languages. Why? Because dynamic programming languages are having dynamic memory allocation. Static programming languages are having static memory allocation. So by this also we can conclude that extended point of this memory allocations only. The next point is like what I am telling there. Pointer variables are supported by static programming languages. But Java is what there? But Java is a dynamic programming language. Java is a dynamic programming language. Java is a dynamic programming language. That's it. This is point number 2. Here we can understand. Point number 3 is also a well-known point for us. Pointers are very much suitable in platform-dependent programming languages. Pointers are very much suitable in platform-dependent programming languages. But Java is what there? Platform-dependent or platform-independent programming language. Java is a platform-independent programming language. Right, sir. That another point is like what I'm telling there. Pointer variables are very much suitable in like a platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. This is another reason. Right, sir. Guys, observe carefully. Then one more point here I'm telling to you about this pointer variables. Another point here. Listen carefully. I'm asking one question to you. In our BTech first year, maybe in our MCA first year, maybe you may have C and data structures a subject. Am I right? C and data structures, where C programming language first time we are trying to learn. In the C programming language, which topic is the most confusion oriented topic for you? In a C and data structures, especially in C programming language in general, which feature or which topic is the most confusion oriented topic there? Then for me, this is pointer variable. For me, pointer variable in general might be BTech first year. Situations are totally different. Am I right or not? Up to intermediate might be your situation is totally different. Maybe some Telugu medium or maybe some local medium. Next one is some English. So it's okay. Mix up of we are able to get up to intermediate. But when you come for BTech colleges, no, is a free board. Nobody will care about you. Then you may go for your own business. Meanwhile, you have to attend for the classes. The teaching methodology is also be changed in BTech. Up to intermediate might be because of these residential colleges, residential schools might be totally you are in one mode up to your intermediate. But in BTech, the trainers will come to you, they will teach in their own way. They are not teaching in our comfortable way. But in intermediate, the trainers will teach with you in our comfortable way. That methodology is also be changed. So altogether, that C and data structures a topic may be a bit complex. In that complex, we also, when we are having pointer variables, there we are able to get some difficulty. This is at one side. It's okay. Even I'm not saying on the base of this, I'm not saying pointers topic is a difficult one. But there are some other reasons. The casual I'm telling there, in our BTech, a bit confusion is going on for BTech first year, where C and data structures is a bit more confusion. In C and data structures also, pointers is more confusion. You may feel confusion with the pointers. You may not understand clearly what is pointer. That's okay, fine. That is up to normal. In general, I'm telling there. But I'm going to give other reasons why pointer variables are most confusion oriented. I will give another reasons. Try to understand this now. In pointers, there are two level pointers are available. Two types of pointers are available. One is a single level pointer. Second one is a multi-level pointer. Single level pointer is what there? A pointer directly refers the address location of the data. Directly pointer is referring address location of the data. That's okay. This is single level pointer. Only one level. One pointer referring data. That's it. But multi-level pointers are like what now? What they're able to do? One pointer is referring another pointer. Another pointer is referring some other pointer. Some other pointer is referring some other pointer. And finally, they are referring data. It is not on a single level. Multi-level. One pointer is referring another pointer, another point is referring another pointer, another point is referring some other pointer is finally referring data. Multiple levels of references are available. In multi-level pointers, if the level is a 2 level, 3 level, 4 level is okay. We can trace it. Which pointer is referring, which pointer and which point is referring which data. That we can trace it. If the levels are 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level, okay. But when we go for 10th level, when we go for 20th level, when we increase number of levels in multi-level pointers, automatically we are getting confusion while tracing which pointer variable is referring which pointer variable and which pointer variable is referring the data. We are getting a bit confusion or not? we lose our control. We lose our control over that pointers tracing or not. Where definitely confusion will be increased. Because of these reasons, what I am telling to you, pointers is a bit confusion oriented feature. Pointers is a bit confusion oriented features, but Java is a simple programming language. Java is what there? A simple programming language. When Java is a simple programming language, it should not allow the confusion oriented features. Confusion oriented features like pointers. It should not allow confusion oriented features like what they're pointers. Guys, everybody understand my point clearly? Nearly 4 reasons here are given there. What are the 4 reasons here are given there about these pointers there? First one is like what there? Pointer variables require static memory allocation, but Java is the following dynamic memory allocation. Pointer variables are supported by static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Pointer variables are very much suitable in a platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Next one is pointers is a bit confusion oriented feature, but Java is a simple programming language. It should not allow the confusion oriented features like what they're pointers. That's it. Now this is what exactly the reason why pointer variables are not existed in in Java, but pointer variables are very much suitable in C and C++. Pointer variables are very much suitable in C and C++. Why? Because if you observe this point here, pointer variables require static memory allocation, but C and C++ are following static memory allocation only. So they are suitable in C and C++. Pointer variables are supported by static programming languages. So C and C++ are what their static programming languages. Next one is pointer variables very much suitable in platform dependent programming languages. C and C++ are what their platform dependent programming languages. Pointer variables is a bit confusion oriented feature. Yes, C and C++ are not much simple programming languages. They are providing some confusion oriented features only. So pointers are suitable in C and C++, but pointers are not suitable in Java. Guys, observe carefully. Then what exactly the point I am telling to you? All right, sir. Now understand this point clearly. After understanding this one, listen carefully. I have a question. What is my question here? In C and C++, a variable is referring a block of memory. A variable is referring a block of memory. So this variable is called as a pointer variable. In C and C++, a variable is referring a block of memory. That's why this variable is called as what? Pointer variable. Now, in Java, what I am telling to you, in Java, we are going to write classes. The total programming is going on for what there? Classes. Class A. Then inside this class now, here we are able to write variables and methods. Okay, now this is class A. Observe carefully. If you want to access the members of this class A, we have to create object for class A. If you want to access members of class A, there we have to create object for class A. A small a is equal to new a, object we created. What is object inside the Java? Object is not any other one. Object is a block of memory in Java. Object is what there? Object is a block of memory in Java. Object is a block of memory in Java. Right, sir. Now here also what happened there? When we create object for a particular class in Java, here also be a block of memory will be created. That block of memory will be referred by a variable. The block of memory is referred by a variable. In the case of C and C++, how pointer variable is referring a block of memory. Similarly, in the case of Java, a variable is referring a block of memory when we create an object for a particular class. So here my question is, if you observe this concept in C and C++ and Java, C and Java, if you observe there, in C, a variable is referring block of memory. So it is pointer variable. In Java also a variable is referring block of memory. A variable is referring block of memory. So why don't we call this variable as a pointer variable? Or how can we say pointers are not existed in Java? First interviewer will ask a question to you. What is pointer variable? You have to give answer there. Pointer is a variable. It able to store address locations of the data structures. Where a data structures may be a variable, maybe an array, or maybe like what their structure, or maybe another pointer variable. Okay, why pointers are not possible in Java? 4 reasons we understood there. Pointers require static memory allocation, but Java is following dynamic memory allocation. Pointers are supported by static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. Pointers are very much suitable in a platform dependent programming languages, but Java is a platform independent programming language. Then pointer variables is a bit confusion oriented feature, but Java is a simple programming language. It should not allow any confusion oriented features including pointers. So pointers are not possible in Java, but pointers are possible in the case of C and C++. After giving this much of answer, that interviewer will ask this question. What is that question there? In C and C++, a variable is a referring block of memory, so that variable is a pointer variable. Similarly, in the case of Java, when we create an object for a particular class, where a variable is referring a block of memory, here object in the sense block of memory only, a variable is referring a block of memory. So why don't we call this variable as a pointer variable? How can you say pointers are not existed in Java? Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? These are the questions here we are able to get from interviewer. There we have to give answer for this question. In this question also, we have to prove pointers are not existed in Java. Even for in this question also, we have to prove pointers are not existed in Java. But if you want to say answer for this particular question, we have to explain what is pointer variable and what is this A variable inside the Java. In Java, we can say this variable is a reference variable. In the case of Java, we can say that variable is what their reference variable. Here I'm telling there, this is what variable they know, reference variable. And in the case of C and C++, this variable is what they know, pointer variable. Now, if you want to answer for this particular question, we should know what exactly the difference between pointer variable and a reference variable. If you want to compare pointer variable and reference variable, first we have to know what is pointer variable. Then what is reference variable, we have to understand. Pointer variable is a variable. It able to refer a block of memory by storing address location. By storing address location, if any variable is referring a block of memory, that variable is a pointer variable. Similarly, what is reference variable in Java? How reference variables are created in Java? If you know that, then easily we can compare pointer variable and reference variable. There we can conclude pointer variables are not same as reference variables, or reference variables are not same as pointer variables. That we are able to give conclusion. So first we have to know what is reference variable, how reference variables are created. That information here we have to know. Yes, sir, all of you are ready to understand this reference variable topic? Are ready to get the clarity on these reference variables? Right. So next 15 to 20 minutes of time. The topic is very, very important. Try to put more concentration. 15 to 20 minutes of time. The topic is very, very important. Everybody has to understand this. Okay. Right. And before that, guys, and tomorrow I will not go for any class. Tomorrow we don't have any class there. Maybe directly Monday I will conduct the session, next session. Okay. Tomorrow don't have any session. Directly on Monday you are going to have session, right? So then apart from that, tomorrow, then what I am telling there, not immediately, after completion of the topics there, introduction part when I complete there I'm going to conduct some exam written test. There we have to participate. I'll give the date and time for that so that you can plan for it. Okay, maximum the next Sunday, coming Sunday, there I will conduct a test. Everybody has to participate in the test. Okay, right, sir. And one more announcement. After few days of time, I will take these classes at what time there? 8:30. Please remember even that schedule also. Okay. Right. Now let's understand the point here. Now our concept is what? What is reference variable? How reference variable is created in Java? Okay. The next 15 minutes of time, the topic is very, very important. Don't deviate, don't neglect. Put total concentration, put more concentration. 1 minute, guys. Guys, just give a minute of time. Hello. Right, sir. Now, understand this, the next 15 minutes of time, the topic will be very, very important. Don't deviate. Now try to understand the content here. So for example, in Java, we are going to write the classes. Programming is going on with classes only. As is, I'm taking class A. Inside this class A, we are able to have some variables and methods. Okay, fine. This is class A. Now, I want to create an object for class K. I want to create an object for class K. Now, A small a is equal to new A class constructor. This line can be used to create an object for the class. A small a is equal to new A constructor. Okay, sir. Now, in the same way, now tell me, in Java, we are going to use one type of memory. In Java, we are able to use one type of memory. The type of memory is heap memory. Heap memory. We are going to use a heap memory. So inside this heap memory only, objects are going to be created. Objects will be created inside this heap memory only. Okay, fine. Now observe carefully. To control this total heap memory, one person will be assigned. To control this total heap memory, one person will be assigned. The name of this person is heap manager. Who's this person? You know, heap manager to control this total heap memory. What is the meaning of controlling this total heap memory? Assigning memory for the objects and de-assigning memory for the objects. To allocate and to deallocate memory for the objects, we need a person. That person is what? There, heap manager. Now you only tell me who is executing Java code? Come on, guys. Who is executing Java code? Who is executing Java code? JVM. JVM is executing our Java code. So here one more person is available. Who is the JVM? Right, sir. Java Virtual Machine. All right. Observe carefully. Now I'm trying to give the flow of execution for it. When JVM executes this particular intersection, when JVM executes this particular intersection, A small a is equal to new A constructor. When JVM executes this particular intersection, A small a is equal to new A constructor. When JVM executes that, then immediately what happened? JVM will send a request to the heap manager about to create an object. JVM will send a request to the heap manager about to create an object. For the sake of application requirement, I need an object now. Please try to create an object for JVM requirement. Now, heap manager will take that request, will accept that request. Heap manager will accept that request. Then immediately heap manager will search for the required block of memory in the heap memory. If the required block of memory is available, automatically heap manager will create a block of memory for the JVM requirement. Heap manager will create a block of memory for JVM requirement. Whatever the memory which is created for JVM requirement, this block of memory is treated as object. That block of memory is treated as what there? As an object. Block of memory is called as what? As an object. Hello, if you're getting my point or not? Okay, object is created. I'm asking one question to all of you now. Try to answer for it. Say, for example, 100 members are sitting in front of me. You're all 100 members who are sitting in front of me. I want to call each and every person. I want to call each and every person. Then how it is possible for me? How it is possible to call each and every person individually? I need your identity or not? Through your identity only, I can call individual persons. Am I right or not? Answer my point here. What is your identity to call? Your name is your identity. Everybody, every person inside our class has their own name. With your name only, I can call. It means that your name is your identity. Am I right or not? Similarly, in Java applications, we are going to create a number of objects, not like single object. You will not complete your application execution. You will not complete your total application by using a single object. As per the requirement, we are going to create more and more number of objects. Number of objects we are going to create in Java. Okay, inside this heap memory, more and more number of objects are available. Multiple objects are available. Hundreds of objects are available. But when 100 of objects are available, then I have to access that each and every object or not. I have to keep data inside the objects and I have to get data from the object. I have to update data inside the object. If you want to perform these data manipulations, I need to call these objects individually or not. I have to access this object individually or not. How can I recognize these objects individually? How it is possible to recognize these objects individually? If you want to recognize these objects individually, they definitely will require some identity for each and every object or not. If you want to access any object, then definitely its identity is required or not. In which way you are having your name as in your identity, in the same way for each and every object, some identity is required or not. Right. So because of that reason, what I'm telling to you, when an object is created in heap memory, immediately heap manager will provide an unique identity for each and every object. At the time of creating an object, immediately heap manager will create one unique identity for that particular object. For all the objects, a separate unique identity will be provided. In the same way, for this object also, one unique identity will be provided by heap manager. Heap manager has provided an unique identity for this object in the form of an integer value, a random integer value. Random integer value which is provided by heap manager for each and every object. A random integer value which is provided by heap manager for each and every object. That random integer value is called as hash code of the object. The random integer value is called as what there? Hash code of the object. Then I'm asking a question to you. What is a hash code? What exactly the meaning of hash code? What is the hash code of the object? This is my question. Answer will be very clear. Hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager. Hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager for each and every object. It is an unique identity for all the objects. That will be provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a hash code of this particular object. Remember this hash code is not address location. Hash code is not address location. Hash code is an integer value, a random integer value provided by heap manager. To prepare this random integer value, heap manager might be executing number of hash code algorithms. Number of hashing algorithms are executed. Hash code algorithms are executed. By executing that hash code algorithms, finally hash code value is generated for each and every object by the JVM. That means heap manager. Right. Whenever heap manager has created hash code value for this object, no, immediately heap manager will take this hash code value. Heap manager will take this hash code value, and heap manager will send the hash code value to JVM. Heap manager will send the hash code value to JVM. Say for example 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Then after that, JVM, when JVM is taking the dash code value from heap manager, immediately JVM will convert the dash code value to its hexadecimal form. When a hash code value is available at the JVM, no, JVM will convert the dash code value into its hexadecimal form. Hexadecimal form of hash code. Hexadecimal form of hash code is called as reference value of the object. Hexadecimal form of hash code is called as reference value of the object. AB56 is a hexadecimal form of hash code. That is called as what? Reference value of the object. When a reference value is created, where JVM will assign that reference value to a variable. Whenever reference value is created, JVM will assign that reference value to a variable. Then the variable which stores reference value of the object, that is called as like what there? A reference variable. The variable which stores reference value of the object is called as reference variable. That is called as like what there? A reference variable. That's it. Then what exactly the meaning of reference variable? Reference variable is a variable which stores object reference value. Reference value of the object is a hexadecimal form of hash code. Hash code is an integer value prepared by heap manager as an unique identity for each and every object. Now tell me here, all of you now tell me. A reference variable is a variable which refers an object or not. So here we can understand. Physically, I want to represent now. Here assume it, here a variable is existed. Here, for example, a variable is available. That a variable is referring this particular object. Am I right or not? This a variable is referring particular object, not here. Not here. Here we can understand. Here, a variable is available. That a variable is referring this particular object. By storing what? Reference value of the object. A variable is able to store like what there? Reference value of the object. AB56. Then what is the reference value of the object? No, hexadecimal form of hash code. What is this hash code here? No, hash code is an integer value provided by heap manager. Hash code is an integer value provided by heap manager as a unique identity for each and every object. So here hash code is an integer value. Hash code is not address location. Reference value is a hexadecimal form of hash code, not address location. Reference variable is a variable which stores reference value, not address location. So address location manipulations are not available in Java. So here reference variable is not same as pointer variable. Pointer variable is different, reference variable is different. Reference variable is not at all pointer variable. Even though it is referring a block of memory, but it is not storing address location. It is storing reference value of the object. So because of that reason, we can conclude pointer variables are different, reference variables are different. So in this case also pointer variables are not existed in Java. Pointer variables are not possible in Java. That's it, guys. Now this is the total scenario. Here we have to understand clearly. Yes, all of you are getting clarity on these points now? Right, sir. Now this is about our point here. Just how to specify this reference variable and how to provide reference variables that we understood clearly. Now this is like what they know. Reference variable. That's okay, fine. But I have a question. One important interview question is available with me. What is my question here? By seeing this total diagram, you have to answer for my question. What would be my question here? My question will be, observe guys. What are the differences between pointer variable and a reference variable? What are the differences between pointer variable and reference variable? What is the difference between pointer variable and reference variable? Right, sir. And there is a question for us, why only heap memory to store the objects and not stack memory? Right, sir. Now, this is not the right time to discuss about the total memory management. In a JVM architecture, I will give more clarity. What is going to be stored in a stack memory? What is going to be stored in a heap memory? What is going to be stored in a method area? All the points we will understand in a JVM architecture, not immediately. But still, if you want to know what is the answer for this, no, stack memory is for the sake of maintaining methods of stacks. Inside these methods of stacks, method information like local variables and return values and parameter variables and all the data is going to be stored. Java was designed in this way. Java was designed in this way. So because of that reason, this particular question here we are getting. So pointer variables, that means then heap memory is for the sake of storing objects. Stack memory is for the sake of storing local variables and might be parameter variables of the methods. For that purpose only we are able to use that. Apart from this, not required. Just leave this one. Again, I will explain more about this memory management system in a JVM architecture. Then up to that we have to wait. Right, sir. Now here, what exactly the differences between pointer variable and reference variable? Now observe this now point here, first point, no? First of all, tell me guys, all of you now tell me, pointer variables are existed in C and C++. Pointer variables are existed in C and C++, whereas reference variables are existed in Java. Reference variables are existed in Java. This is point number one. Next, point number two. Pointer variables are existed in C and C++, and pointer reference variables are existed in Java. Next one is, pointer variables are able to refer a block of memory by storing address locations. Pointer variables are able to refer a block of memory by storing address locations. Observe carefully. Right, sir. But reference variables are able to refer a block of memory. Reference variables are able to refer a block of memory by storing object reference values. Now tell me, here itself we have to confirm where object reference value is hexadecimal form of hash code. Where what is this hash code actually? Where hash code is an integer value provided by heap manager for each and every object, provided by heap manager for each and every object as an unique identity. Right, so now this is what exactly the meaning of, like, what are there? Pointer variable and reference variable. Next up, point number 3. Observe carefully. Pointer variables are recognized by compiler at the time of compilation. Reference variables are recognized at runtime by the JVM. That means reference variables are recognized at runtime by the JVM. JVM can recognize all the reference variables. Right, sir. Like this here, we are able to understand some differences here. These differences are okay. Mainly the difference is what there. Pointer variables are able to store address locations, whereas reference variables are able to store object reference values. Where object reference value is a hexadecimal form of hash code, where hash code is an unique identity provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. So pointer variables are different, reference variables are different. Pointers are not possible in the case of Java. Yes, all of you are getting my points or not? That's okay, fine. Now, sir, now fourth difference is also be completed. Next one is after this fourth difference. That means after this fourth difference. Now tell me, guys, all of you now tell me how many differences here we understood up to now. Difference between Java and others. The four differences we completed. Tell me what are the four differences we completed here now? C and C++ are static programming languages, whereas Java is what? Dynamic programming language. Point number two, preprocessor is required in C and C++, whereas preprocessor is not required in Java. And point number three, C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, whereas Java is what their platform independent programming language. Next one is pointer variables are existed in C and C++, whereas pointer variables are not existed in Java. Yes, all of you are getting clarity up to now. Right, sir. The next one is, next point is, listen carefully. That means fifth difference, I think, so, right? Now, multiple inheritance is not existed in Java, but multiple inheritance may be existed in C++ and Python. Multiple inheritance is possible in Python, but it is not existed in Java. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? All right. Before understanding multiple inheritance, which is existed or not existed in Java, C++, and Python, before all these points, first we have to understand what is multiple inheritance. What is multiple inheritance? From where this multiple inheritance, the topic is coming. Before this multiple inheritance, any other inheritance is available or not? If it is available, then what is that inheritance? All these basic concepts here we have to understand. Okay. Right, sir. Now I'm asking one question to all of you. Try to answer for it. One programming language is existed. One programming language, any programming language, one programming language is existed. When it is possible for me to say that programming language is an object-oriented programming language. What is object-oriented programming language? That I want to know first. Listen, I'll give answer for it. Now try to understand it. If any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following object-oriented principles, object-oriented features. Come again, what is the definition I've given to you? If any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following object-oriented features or object-oriented principles, then that programming language is called as an object-oriented programming language. All of you are getting clarity on these definitions, no? Tell me what is an object-oriented programming language is, no? Right? If any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following object-oriented features, principles, object-oriented features and object-oriented features, then that programming language is called as an object-oriented programming language. That's it. This is the meaning of an object-oriented programming language. Okay, all of you are understanding this point now? Now here I have a question now. I have a question. By following object-oriented features, what are these object-oriented features actually? Data has to be represented in the form of objects. That's okay. But by following object-oriented features, what is the meaning of these object-oriented features here? If you observe this clearly, there are 7 number of object-oriented features. How many number of object-oriented features are available? There are 7 number of object-oriented features are existed. What are the 7 number of object-oriented features here? First one is a class, and the second one is object, and the third one is encapsulation, and the fourth one is abstraction, and the fifth one is inheritance, and sixth one is like a polymorphism, and the seventh one is message passing. But actually people are not including message passing in object oriented features, but really it is one of the object oriented feature. Tell me guys, all of you tell me, how many number of object oriented features are available? 7 number of object oriented features. What are the 7 number of object oriented features? Can know? Class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and message passing. Okay, now observe carefully. Out of these object oriented features, 4 features are the most powerful object oriented features. What are the most powerful object oriented features here? Encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. These features are the most powerful object oriented features. Right, sir. Observe carefully. After understanding these features now, object oriented features now, now here I need to define what exactly the meaning of inheritance. We have to understand what is the meaning of inheritance. Why? Because if you want to talk about multiple inheritance, first we have to talk about inheritance. What is this inheritance? Then after that we'll go for multiple inheritance. Right, sir. Now what is the meaning of inheritance here now? Listen carefully. In Java, we are going to write the programming by using classes only. We are able to write programs by using what? Their classes only. Say for example, class employee. Say for example, class like a customer. Like so many classes are available. Inside this employee, some variables and methods are available. Inside this customer class, some variables and methods are available. Similarly, class product is existed. Inside this also, like some variables and methods are existed. Like this, we are able to write classes. Got my point or not? Okay, now, after understanding these classes, now the point is, what exactly the meaning of inheritance actually? Observe carefully. It is a relation between classes. What is this? What is this inheritance? No, it is a relation between classes. Okay. What is the advantage of this relation? No, it will bring variables and methods from one class to another class. It will bring variables and methods from one class to another class in order to improve code reusability. In order to improve code reusability. Observe carefully here what I am telling you. In order to improve code reusability. Come on, what exactly the definition I given for inheritance? No, it's the relation between classes. What's the advantage of this relationship? No, it will bring variables and methods from one class to another class. That means one class is giving variables and methods to other class is getting variables and methods or not. The class which is providing variables and methods, which is giving variables and methods, is called as superclass. Is also be called as parent class. Superclass or parent class. The class which is giving variables and methods is called as a superclass or a parent class. The class which is getting variables and methods, the class which is taking variables and methods is called as subclass or a child class. But in the case of Java, there is no terminology like a parent class and a child class. Only the terminology is superclass and a subclass. Please remember this. Now onwards, we have to say superclass and a subclass, not a parent class and a child class. Now, this is up to C++ maybe. In other programming language, this general terminology is available. But in the case of Java, superclass and a subclass. Observe carefully. It is a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from one class. It will bring variables and methods from one class. That is, the class is called as like what they know, super class, to another class. Another class is what you know, that we can understand like what they know, subclass. In order to, what is the advantage of this inheritance here? What is the advantage of this inheritance? Now tell me what advantage we are getting there, no? Code reusability. Code reusability is an advantage of inheritance. Okay, good. Now up to this here we understood clearly. Next one is, how many types of inheritances are available? How many types of inheritances are existed? If you observe this, initially two types of inheritances are existed. Initially, how many types of inheritances are available there? Two types of inheritances are existed. What are the two types of inheritances are existed here? First one is single inheritance and second one is multiple inheritance. Guys, observe carefully. I need to introduce that multiple inheritance. To introduce this multiple inheritance, that just I'm talking about all these concepts here clearly. Okay, anyway, then two types of inheritance are available initially. What are the two types of inheritance? No, single inheritance, and second one is what there? Multiple inheritance. Clear. But listen carefully. On the basis of these two inheritances, on the basis of these two inheritances, three more inheritances are defined. Three more inheritances are defined. What are these three more inheritances are defined actually? Then here we can observe this clearly. The first one is multi-level inheritance, and next one is like what there? Hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. Next one, after that, the third one is like what there? Hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. Overall, three types of inheritances are existed. Multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, then what next one you know? Hybrid inheritance. These many inheritances are existed. But anyway, I don't, overall five types of inheritance are available. But initially two types of inheritances are single inheritance and multiple inheritance. On the basis of these two, three more inheritances are defined, like multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and what next one? No, hybrid inheritance. That's all of you are getting my point or not? All right, sir. Now here we have to understand what exactly is single inheritance and what is the meaning of multiple inheritance. These definitions here we have to understand. Now observe carefully. What is this single inheritance? No, I'm giving some definition to you. Now try to understand this definition. Single inheritance is very simple. Now try to understand it. It is a relation between classes. Single inheritance is also a relation between classes. Observe carefully. It will bring variables and methods from observe carefully. It will bring variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Definition is very clear. Now try to observe this clearly. It is a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from only one superclass. That means how many superclasses can know? Only one superclass. Here the condition is available on number of superclasses only. No condition is available on number of subclasses. Here condition is available for only number of superclasses. Condition is not available in a number of subclasses. So single inheritance is what? If you are trying to get variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses, then that is called as what? Single inheritance. Yes, all of you are getting my point or not? Now, what is this multiple inheritance? And before that, I want to represent a diagram. What exactly the meaning of single inheritance? No, just I will represent a diagram here. Try to understand this diagram. No. For example, now inheritance I want to represent in the form of like what there. See, observe this clearly. Inheritance I want to represent in this form. This is sober class here we are taking, and this is a child class. Here the condition is what? Number of superclasses should be 1. But any number of subclasses here we can take. Here itself I can take second subclass and third subclass also. But one subclass here I have taken. We can observe this clearly now. This is like what there? Class A and this is class B. Now, inheritance relationship is expressed in the form of a keyword. That keyword is like what there? Extends. Okay, fine. Observe carefully. Now here I am telling to you, reusability I am telling to you, you will declare int I is equal to 10 in superclass. Int I is equal to 10 in superclass, we will declare void M1 method. Here we are able to declare in this subclass. Int I is equal to 10, void M1 method that we declared in superclass. We declare them in superclass. But as class B is a child class for class A, as B is a subclass to class A, class B can reuse all members of superclass. Subclasses can reuse all members of superclass. So here we can understand I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to I plus 10 in the sense we are using it, but we declare it in a superclass. We defined it in superclass, but we are using that inside the child class. The next one is we are calling M1 method. We are calling M1 method in the sense it was defined in superclass. Then whatever the method we defined in superclass, no, that we accessed inside the subclass. That we accessed inside what their subclass. That's it now. This is what exactly the meaning of like what their inheritance, single inheritance. So Java doesn't have any problem to allow this single inheritance. No, in Java, single inheritance is possible. In Java, single inheritance is possible. That Java doesn't have any problem to allow single inheritance. No confusion is available. Okay. Now let me save this one. Right, sir. Now this is like what there? Multiple inheritance. Okay, fine. Next one is after that. What is this multiple inheritance now? What is the definition for multiple inheritance? If you observe this point here, now understand this clearly. Multiple inheritance. What is this multiple inheritance here? Again, the same definition. It's a relation between classes. It's a relation between classes. Then what it will do now? It will bring variables and methods from. Observe carefully. In the case of single inheritance, conditional number of superclass is what? Only from single superclass. But in the case of multiple inheritance, it's a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from more than one superclass, more than one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. It's a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from more than one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Got my point or not? So this is what exactly the meaning of multiple inheritance, that what we are getting. But here the question is, multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Why Java doesn't support multiple inheritance? What is the reason for it? Java does not support multiple inheritance. Then why Java does not support multiple inheritance? What is the reason for it? Yes, sir. All of you are following or not? This topic we will discuss in the next class. Exactly this part we will discuss in the next class. Even the time may not be sufficient even if I start this now. I have to go for some diagrammatic representations here. But remember, up to this point here, I given the total inheritance topic I have given there. But what is multiple inheritance also I have given. But why that multiple inheritance is not supported in Java, that we are going to have discussion on next class. When we are going to see the next class, next content here? On Monday. On Monday, as is at the same time, you can come here. Then there I will discuss about why multiple inheritance is not possible. If we complete this topic there, then a few more differences I will cover. Max, Monday, I'll try to complete all the differences between Java and others. Max, we are trying to see max content of these differences there. If time is possible, then I'll introduce some other topic also, but not immediately. So this is about the differences between Java and others. Nearly 5 differences almost all we completed there. The next concepts we are going to understand on Monday. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on Monday. No class on tomorrow. Monday we have to come. Thank you. Okay, I'll share the documents, guys. Don't worry. I'll share the documents to you. Total document I'll share with you. Thank you.